Hey guys, welcome to another Jurassic World Alive video. Today we're going to talk a bit more about some 1.7 stuff. And by the way, no, the update is not going to be today. A lot of people were predicting it was going to be Monday. I never thought it was going to be Monday. I thought it had like a 1% chance of it being on Monday, just because first of all, updates usually don't happen on Mondays, and second of all, they did not have announce a scheduled maintenance, which is why I don't think it would be today either. And it's probably not going to be tomorrow either, since it's 12:47 right now as of this recording, and there's still no scheduled maintenance announcements yet. So probably not going to be Tuesday. It's probably going to be either Wednesday or after. So anyways, let's get into this video. Today we're going to talk about some of the biggest winners of the 1.7 changes, or non-changes, I guess. Just the general new environment of 1.7, some of these dinos, and see which ones benefited the most from this patch. And let's get right into this. So starting off, let's talk about one of the biggest ones. A lot of people were excited for this one, Diorajasaur. Of course, Diorajasaur got a huge buff this patch. It went from basically irrelevancy to probably one of the best dinos in the game. Diorajasaur was really, really good back in 1.2 and before, but afterwards it just kind of sank, and then especially after it got Swap and Ferocity, it fell out of irrelevancy, and then now it's back. So and Ludi, I think they put it really well here. As they wrote, Diorajasaur's attributes and moveset are revamped to be more of a coherent, meta-relevant, unique creature. That's a really good characterization of what happened to Diorajasaur, obviously. So to start it off, Diorajasaur now has a new move. It's a precise shattering counterattack, which, if you guys don't know, it's a new ability. Precise just means it can hit through cloak and evasive, but doesn't null it. So for example, if an enemy Indo uses evasive stance and then hits you with a armor piercing strike, Diorajasaur is gonna go counter it with a precise shattering counter. It's gonna 100% hit through the evasive, but the move after, if Diorajasaur uses Superiority Strike afterwards, it's not guaranteed to hit through evasive. So that's with the precise shattering counter, which helps deal with a lot of those, the cloak and evasion dinos. Although I think the only real use for this move is just against Indoraptor, since it probably beats all the other ones anyways. It should beat Erlodom and Indom quite easily, so it doesn't really matter that much, but it does help in the Indoraptor case. And then some other changes. It got Superiority Strike for Pinning Strike, which helps it a lot, especially in considering how slow Diorajasaur is, and also, other than the speed thing, there's also some other matchups, like the Diloracheirus matchup, Utahsinoraptor/Renex matchup, if anyone still uses Renex afterwards. The Dracoceratops matchup, although it used to just get absolutely mauled by Dracoceratops, but now it has a chance to beat Dracoceratops. Well, it really depends on the speed type, but still, it has a better chance to beat Dracoceratops now. It really depends on when it can throw that instant distraction onto that Defense China Rampage. So it's still a guessing game. It's still based on luck, but hey, it has a better chance now. And obviously, Superiority Strike and the precise shattering counter deals with Trico's shield and instant distract. So as long as you don't get Defense Shattering Rampage in the face, Diorajasaur should be fine against it. And a lot of people have been actually comparing this new Diorajasaur change to Tricosaurus. I would strongly disagree. I think they're very, very different dinos. Tricosaurus is more of a sniper-like figure. It's trying to stall out. It's trying to find that opportunity or create an opportunity so that it can use that huge Defense Shattering Rampage against your opponent. Diorajasaur, I don't think is that case. Diorajasaur is way more similar to Enkentro's playstyle, Enkentrosaurus's playstyle, than Tricosaurus's. It's stalling for it. It's a more stally dino than Tricosaurus's. It's trying to stall for all that damage it outputs through other means than just waiting for that one big hit. So anyways, enough of Diorajasaur. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to talk about Dracorex Gen 2. A lot of people didn't really notice this change that much, but Dracorex Gen 2 got hurt a lot last patch, but now it got some decent buffs. First of all, the attack increase is always welcome for a dinosaur, not talking about players. So that's a 2.4k swap in Shattering Rampage, so that hurts a lot. Obviously, Impact and Run change into Impact. That's a really good change, because Impact and Run, obviously it only has it has a 1-turn delay, and Impact doesn't have a 1-turn delay at all. So you could just use Impact straight off the bat, which some dinos would probably take out Dracorex Gen 2 by turn 2 anyway, so it's better to get some more damage in instead of just a strike. And also, if for some reason you two survive long enough, Impact got a buff as well. It has a 1-turn cooldown now instead of a 2-turn, so that helps. Anyways, moving on, while we're on the topic of Dracorex Gen 2, let's talk about Dracocera. I also think Dracocera is a huge winner in this patch, although, Ludia tried to put up some shields. Not shields, I mean barriers, I guess, since Dracocera can shatter shields. But, metaphorically speaking, some barriers against Dracocera, like the swap in instant track, some other swap in abilities. Some people think swap in evasion can be a factor. I guess it's a 50% chance of not getting one-shot, which is okay, I guess. And then, some other things that could stop Dracocera. Although those are in place, but there weren't any direct nerfs to Dracocera. It could still do its thing. For the most part, against most meta-relevant dinos. Not a lot of the meta-relevant dinos really have much to, counter a Dracocera other than the ones that just one-shot it. But, now you got HP boost, so that might not even be a factor in a lot of cases as well. So Dracocera is a huge winner. A lot of people were expecting a nerf or whatever, but it came out almost unscathed. So, that's a huge win for Dracocera. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about Erlikosaurus Gen 2. Although it only writes here a speed increase to 129, that's not the biggest buff to it. Although 129 speed is very good. That's where you want to be if you're a fast, low HP dino. You want to be at 129 speed. But the bigger buff to it is actually the debilitating extraction buff. Delay is now 0, so you could just use debilitating extraction on turn 1 with 129 speed. That's huge. Debilitating Extraction, obviously, 75% debuff in your opponent's damage for 2 turns with a one times damage. That's huge, in my opinion. That's a really huge buff to Erlikosaurus Gen 2. Really strong at the moment. So, that's great for Erlik. And then, moving on, let's talk about Grypolyth. Grypolyth was in a very similar situation to Dioraja, just one of the worst uniques in the game. And now it's super great. Even though, there's not as many changes to it as Dioraja, but it's a stalling nightmare now. It got, a lot of rending attacks and stuff. A lockdown strike becomes immobilized, which is just better than lockdown. I think, it's a better lockdown move, I guess. HP increased, that's good, always great for it. It has rending counterattack, which helps, I guess. And then Ferocity Strike becomes regeneration, which is great. With the amount of HP it has, you could just, regen, counter, all that good stuff. So, Grypolyth, really decent buff there as well. A lot of people are debating which one's better, Grypo or Dioraja. Personally, think Grypo is probably a bit better, but Dioraja's great as well, obviously. Moving on to the next one we're going to talk about is actually Paramoloch. Paramoloch got a bit of a attack nerf, but that's not too big of a deal. Just looking at what it's become, I think the attack reduction is pretty irrelevant here. So, as Ludia tweak this creature to be more of a sustain team play tank. Strike becomes Shielding Strike, Rampage or Run becomes Regen and Run, Greater Stunning Strike becomes Greater Stunning Impact. First of all, let's look at the obvious buffs here. Greater Stunning Strike to Greater Stunning Impact. Obviously, that's a 1.5 times multiplier. That makes the attack reduction extremely irrelevant now. And although it lost a Rampage, Regen and Run is just so much better. Regen and Run is one of the best moves in the game, honestly. Especially with all these new swapping abilities in play and all these new counterattacks. Don't forget a lot of these, rendering counterattacks or rendering counterattack dinos in play. That makes gameplay for the Paramoloch's team way more unpredictable as it was before. And then, Shielding Strike, obviously that's a good, turn 1 option for Paramoloch. At least it's not Strike anymore. That helps a lot, and especially with the regen, you don't want to take that much damage. That would be really nice. So, also, one more thing. It's probably better than Paramoloch now. Just saying. Anyways, moving on to another winner I want to talk about is Tanystropheus. Tanystropheus, as you guys remember, it was the Indoraptor killer for the longest time until it became not the Indoraptor killer, because Indoraptor got a health buff and Tanystropheus couldn't kill it anymore. But now it has a really, really decent chance of beating Indoraptor, although Indoraptor could also has a really, really decent chance of beating Tanny. Just depends on if the armor piercing strike hits the cloak, or you have to really predict when Indoraptor is going to use evasive. So if Indoraptor uses evasive first and then you use null impact first, then you're going to win that matchup. If Indoraptor uses cleansing impact first and then you use null impact, then Indoraptor has a really, really great chance of beating, because they could evasive stance next turn and then go for a defense giant rampage to kill the Tanystropheus. But at least it does have a chance to beat Indoraptor now, and it has a bit of a purpose in this in the meta, instead of just being nothing. Although, to be fair, HP did get reduced, which hurts it a lot, I think, honestly. But I mean, it has a purpose, because the thing is, before it didn't really have a purpose. Like, it just doesn't do anything. And now, at least with the damage increase, it at least kills Indoraptor, so it has that one purpose now, instead of just having like total irrelevancy in the meta. It has some relevance now, so that's great for Tanny. And then the last one I want to talk about, Utahsinoraptor. It gets buffed every patch. I'm not even surprised that it got buffed this time now. Like, I don't even know why it just keeps on getting buffed. 1.6k damage. That's huge. That's Tyrannosaur levels of damage. Why does it get this attack increase? No one knows. No clue why it's just keep on getting buffs. And especially when you compare it side to side, compare it to Dioracheirus, it just becomes better than Renex at the moment. So that's a huge win for Utahsinoraptor. But I do want to caution you guys that it's always a safer investment to invest in uniques, because the chances of a legendary getting nerfed than a unique getting nerfed is far more greater. Uniques, Ludia wants you to spend money on their game, right? So that's why they, for the most part, want their harder to obtain dinos to become better. So it's always safer to invest in uniques, but at the moment, Utahsinoraptor is better than Dioracheirus. And also, I personally don't think, I have a theory that Ludia probably thought they were actually buffing Renex, but they just don't know it, like how bad they screwed it up. So anyways, that's it for one more winner that I forgot to talk about. It's not on this list. The last winner I want to talk about is Ludia, because Ludia always wins this update. It looks like it's going to be a very costly update, especially with the stat boosts and stuff, which I'm personally not a fan of. I don't like the stat boost stuff. But then again, I haven't fully experienced it yet, so my jury's still out in that one. But just from what I've seen so far, I don't like the stat boosts. And also the new hybrids. Like, the new hybrids all look cool, but they're all super, super expensive hybrids. So, hey, Ludia wins again. Anyways, so far, I think the reaction to this update so far is really positive. We still have, still yet to see it in full action, so public opinion might change once it comes out, but who knows. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other ideas of your own, which dinos you think got a huge, increase in relevancy in this patch, which ones got better, you can leave that in the comments down below. And also, you could also discuss it with us and a bunch of other, we got, 100 or so, almost 200 people on our Discord, which I have linked in the description. So, if you wanted to click that link and join the Discord, and, just talk with us about the game and other stuff, you could do that as well, as always. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, that would be pretty nice of you to do so. That really does help support my channel. And anyways, that's gonna be it for this one, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow when the update drops, hopefully drops, but it doesn't seem very likely at the moment. But hey, we can always believe.